In this video, I'll be showing you guys my brand new hydroponic lettuce system. Today, I will be planting the next batch of lettuce, and I'll just give you guys an overview of how the system works and the planting and harvesting schedule that I'm planning for this system. So for this system, we'll start right here where everything begins. So this is where I have these little cups here, 2-inch cups with cocoa coir, and I just plant my lettuce seed right in the cup there, and I water them with some hydroponic nutrient solution. So I started all these seeds with an EC of 1. Some people recommend an EC a little bit lower, but 1 EC seems to be working okay. So this here is the oldest batch of lettuce, and this is what we will be bringing out to the system right now. So this system is really easy for planting. I just have to get my seedlings here, and I could remove this floating raft here for easy access of planting. So I just get my cup here. You can see the roots already hanging down a bit, and I just plop it into the system like that. So it could be very quick. And there, we already have 1 sheet planted, so I'm going to plant the rest of them. And I actually need to drill out these sheets still. Okay, so I just finished drilling the holes in these sheets here. I'm going to continue and finish transplanting this lettuce. And we'll put one more over here. Last planting, I had a few seeds that didn't sprout, so next time I'm going to make sure that I plant extra so that I don't have an empty space there. So now the system is completely full of lettuce. We have our youngest batch of lettuce here, and then the next week's batch right here, and the oldest batch of lettuce right here. So there's 4 sheets every week, and there's 72 heads of lettuce every single week. So in about a week and a half, these ones will be harvested, and then the next batch of lettuce will go in the system, and it'll just be a continuous cycle of harvesting lettuce every single week. I pull up this sheet here. These sheets are a little too tight. I think I need to cut them a little bit so they come up a little easier, but so there you go. There is the roots growing into the water, and they're looking really good. They're white roots. There's a little bit of brown on them, but that's just like bacteria or clutter that's in the water. There's no root rot or anything. So it's actually looking really good. These heads of lettuce here should be ready in a couple weeks, I think. So I'm kind of experimenting with a few different varieties here. So far, I think the red is looking the best. These Flandrias are looking really good too. They're nice size, but by the description of the seeds, they take a little bit longer than the red ones and these green ones. These are supposed to be a specific hydroponic variety. So far they're looking a lot smaller. They're supposed to be more dense, more leaves packed into a smaller space, but anyways, we'll see how it goes, and we'll make decisions on what we're going to continue to grow in the future. So how this system works is the water in the table drains into this reservoir here. So if I lift up this sheet here, we'll be able to see the, oh man, these are tight. There is the drainage spout right there. So you can see the water, it fills up the table, and then once it gets full enough, it drains into the reservoir right here. So it's just continuous. There's the pump right here. It pumps the water out of the reservoir into that water chiller there, which cools the water. And then it comes from the water chiller all the way down here and then back up into the system. So as the system fills with water, it overflows out the drain into the system, and it just continues to recirculate. This helps oxygenate it and cools the water with the water chiller there. Now, I put this hoop system here so that I could shade the lettuce, and I find this helps a lot because in the heat right now, the shade net has been off for a little bit, but the leaves are already starting to get a little floppy. So I find that see that? It's very floppy. I find the lettuce in the full sun, it just does not like it very much. So the shade net really helps keep the lettuce protected from too much sun. And I also find that the shade net helps prevent any debris that may be floating around getting on the lettuce. Around this time of year, there's a lot of dandelion and fluff flying in the air, so it lands on the lettuce and it sticks to the plant. So the shade net also helps keep that stuff out. It will probably help keep some bugs out, like moths or something like that. So this is a pretty cool system. It's super easy to manage and maintain. I'll show you here my my Blue Lab Guardian probe here. So I have the EC, 1.3 EC is what I run this system at. Anywhere from 1.2 to 1.5 is probably good. I believe the recommended range for these systems is 1.2 to 1.8. So you guys will probably just have to play around with the EC that works for you. I'm still learning this system here, so this is totally brand new to me. I have the temperature reading here and the pH right here. So I try to keep this system around 5.8 pH. Over time, the pH does raise in the system, or rise in the system. Oops. So anyways, what I do is I just add pH down. So I have phosphoric acid that I just add into the reservoir and let it recirculate into the system. So every day or so, I just add a little bit of that if I need. And as the lettuce grows, it does uptake some water. So when I see the reservoir starting to get low, I will add water to the system. And then I also might add some more nutrients with that water as well, depending on what the EC is reading. So I try to keep it around 1.3. So as of now, I've only topped up the water and added a little bit of nutrients. After a while with a system like this, since it is recirculating, people recommend that we change out the entire water or a certain percentage of the water, like every so many weeks or so. I'm gonna try to go as many weeks as I can without doing a complete water change, because obviously the less water and fertilizer I'm using, the better. And if I could keep recirculating it with no problems, I'm gonna do that. I would assume probably maybe eventually I'll do a complete water change or a partial water change. This is simply just because the nutrients in the solution, they don't all get taken up by the plant in equal amounts. So over time, the nutrient solution in the water might become unbalanced. So yeah, so this is the system. It's working very well so far, and I will continue to make updates on this system. If you guys are interested in making a system like this, it doesn't have to be this large. It could just be one of these sheets, it could be a couple, or it could be larger than this system. This system is very scalable, so whether you want to do it small or large, it's pretty much the same idea, and it's easy to make it bigger. You just make a bigger table, add more sheets. So if you guys have any questions about the system, or you want any additional details about it, leave a comment and I'll update you guys very soon.